Good evening, everyone. I hope all of you guys are doing great. This is an introductory video on advanced auditing and professional ethics as a subject. Now, before I jump on to the chapters to be covered and all, let me give you a brief overview that see at a final level, advanced auditing actually includes standards auditing, what you discussed in intermediate. And you remember standards auditing from SA 200 onwards till SA 720. Then the company audit chapter, if you remember, section 138 to 148. Then, if you remember, some vouching verification for old syllabus auditing. For revised syllabus, you would have studied audit of items of financial statements. Somewhere down the line, that is taken as a base. And then there is a advanced syllabus created on that base. So let's do one thing. Let me give you an overview of all the list of chapters what we have. If you look at the detail, you will be shocked. A huge list of chapters. See, in intermediate, in old syllabus, you had just 9 chapters, and in revised syllabus, you had 13 chapters. For final level, you have a long list. But very interestingly, if you notice, the list starts with obvious chapter, that is standard on auditing. This will include your 200 series to 700 series. You'll ask me a question, sir. What is different at a final level if it is the same standard? See, at an intermediate level, they used to ask you question on the concept. Like, for example, what is written representation? You know, is written representation on audit evidence or not? At a final level, they'll be asking you implementation question. Let's say you obtain written representation. Now, what is your response towards that written representation? Can that be used as the only evidence, while doing the audit procedures? So the implementation part will come at a final level. The conceptual, the basic understanding was at a intermediate level. Why am I discussing this? See, I did an analysis of May 19 and November 19 examination. I went to the entire paper. I went on, question by question, made a Excel on that. And, this is like a summary in front of you. Like from which chapter, how many marks questions was really asked to you. And if you see carefully, standards auditing, 18 marks they have. May 19, 23 marks. And you'll realize in final essays, there are some other chapters also which are technical part of essays only. Like, see, last 2 chapters, risk assessment and internal control. This is basically nothing but my essay 315 in detail. Then you have audit planning, that is my essay 300 series, that is 300, that talks about my audit planning, that is audit program, overall audit strategy and all. So you'll realize even these 2 chapters are somehow part of my essays only. What I'm trying to throw a highlight on, 18 plus 5, you'll see 23 marks straightforward coming from essays. In May 19, 23 plus 5, again 28 marks coming. And let me remind you, this is only the subjective part of the paper. So if you know, at a final level, the 100 mark are divided into 2 parts. 30 marks is going to be your MCQ, 70 marks is going to be your subjective side of the question paper. This is from that 70 mark I'm talking about how many marks have been asked from essay specifically. Why am I emphasizing more on this marks distribution? Because see, at a final level, the syllabus is so huge. The biggest challenge is, where should I start from? Where should I focus more? How to navigate? That approach can be decided only when you really understand the composition, the chapter wise weightage. That is why I have studied the ICAI's given chapter wise weightage. I went on to analyze the last 2 papers, and my conclusion says essays approximately 30 marks. I'm covering MCQ as well as your subjective paper. The both will cover approximately 30% marks. Company audit, professional ethics. If you see clearly, 15, 13. This is reminding, no, MCQ is not covered in this. So can I say on average 15 marks from company audit for sure. Professional ethics, can you see 14, 14? So approximately 16 marks from professional ethics for sure. And then comes a list of miscellaneous chapters. The problem is these miscellaneous chapters. And I'll tell you why. Because you see carefully, some chapters are completely ignored. They are not even asked in the last attempt and even an attempt before that. But that does not mean it will not be asked in the next attempt. Rather, I'll tell you what, there is a higher chance that they might be asking you question on Caro, on liabilities of auditor, or even peer review chapter. Because It's very difficult to choose in these chapters. But I'll tell you one interesting part. What I feel is, since we don't have the access of MCQs, I believe MCQs are asked from all chapters, like, 1 mark, 2 mark, 2 mark, 1 mark questions coming from randomly each chapter. So, conclusion is, you cannot leave any chapter at a final level. What should be your approach according to me? Approach is, start with standards on auditing. This will give you a comfort over 30% syllabus. The move on to company audit, it will give you another 15 marks in your pocket. Professional ethics, still another 15 to 16 marks in your pocket. You'll realize by the time you reach here, you are almost sitting comfortably at 60% syllabus. Then, according to me, there's a recent new Caro. All of you must be aware of this. Caro 2016 was the last one which we were studying as of now. Caro 2020 has come up, and recently the finance ministry has postponed it by almost a year now. So it's going to become applicable from next financially onwards. But as of now, talking about the audit report chapter, which includes Caro, I still believe there's a weightage of 5 marks. Now, after these core chapters, you move on to miscellaneous chapters. So, what do we do about the miscellaneous chapters? Because, see, look at the list. You have bank audit, you have insurance audit, you have audit of PSU, you have investigation as a concept, peer review as a concept. Every goddamn thing is part of your syllabus. How do we approach that? There are two ways, see, because maximum weightage for these chapters individually is not more than 4 or 5. You'll realize only one question is getting asked from these chapters, and that question is going to be either for a 4 mark or a 5 mark. So the question is, how do we approach that? There are two ways. First thing, when you're studying for the first time, go through the entire chapter. And during the lectures, which you will see, this is like an introductory lecture. When you start watching individual lectures, you will realize I will discuss the entire chapter once, and then, let me just give you an example. There's a chapter called Liabilities of an Auditor. So, I've summarized the entire chapter in just 10 slides. Like, this is a PPT version of the entire chapter. What I believe is, once you're done with the thorough understanding of entire chapter, you have these PPT slides handy with you. They will help you in revising the entire chapter in literally 10-15 minutes. And the higher probability is the questions are going to be asked from here only. So, see, my always focus is to focus on entire ICI module. I have literally taken ICI module as a base. And obviously for essays, I've taken bare essays as a base, summarized them, tried to include every important part which can be asked in the examination. That is why you'll get 5 modules. Yes, I know that's too much, but 5 modules. Module 1 will cover only essays. Module 2 will cover your professional ethics, company audit, and then some miscellaneous chapters like Caro, audit committee, corporate governance, PSU audit. So I have a sequence. I start with essays, then I jump on to company audit and professional ethics, and then start with miscellaneous chapters. So by the time you're done with module 1 and module 2, you'll realize almost 60% of syllabus is over. 65 to 70% syllabus is over. Module 3, 4. How should we navigate? For the first reading, try to finish everything once. Read them out. Then use these PPT slides. I'll share them with you. Don't worry about this. For your, quick revision part. This you can actually, what is professional negligence, section 35, 36, 447. Like, the quick focus on the important sections, and you'll realize the chapter will be over. That's the best way to approach. See, this is more of an introductory lecture where I'm just telling you how we will navigate in the remaining lectures. So my approach is start with essays. And when I talk about start with essays, there comes 5 steps in auditing. You would have studied them in C Intermediate. If not, you'll see 5 steps. I want all of you to take out your notebooks, give a heading, steps involved in a statutory audit. Give a heading, steps involved in a statutory audit. Under that, write down point number 1. Understanding the entity and its environment. Understanding the entity and its environment. Number 2. Agreeing the terms of engagement. Number 2. Agreeing the terms of audit engagement. In brackets, you can mention SA210. Agreeing the terms of audit engagement. Number 3, audit planning. This will cover your entire 300 series. Audit planning. Number 4, Execution or implementation of audit plan. Execution or implementation of audit plan. And then the last one, audit reporting and conclusions. Audit reporting and conclusions. Now listen to me carefully for 2 minutes. If you remember, at an intermediate level, they would have taught you essays in these different series. Unfortunately, there is 800 series also, but that is removed from your syllabus. ICAI came up with a clarification that 800 series and even other standards are not really part of your syllabus. You need to focus only on 200 till 700. Even guidance notes are removed from your syllabus. Let me give you an overview. See, do you have to remember essay number and the essay name? Yes, you have to. But how do we? There should be a logical approach towards this. 200 series basically includes your basic concepts in audit. Like this will include your documentation concept, fraud concept, joint responsibility concept. Like the basics of, statutory audit comes under 200. 300 is entirely your planning series. So risk assessment part, the audit plan concept, materiality concept will come under 300 series. 4, 5, 6 is more of execution in nature. In this also, 500 is the most important series. What is audit evidence? Different specific audit evidences. External confirmation as a concept. When you are using the work of a third party, 600 series becomes active. And there are 3 standards: 600, 610, and 620, which we'll talk in detail. So what I'm trying to say is, broad level, you should know that the basic concepts are under 200. Planning part is under 300. 4, 5, 6 is towards your execution. In that also, the most important one is your 500 series, which will talk about the different ways to obtain evidences, different methods, different, techniques what you can apply in specific areas, like related parties, what procedure should you apply, subsequent events, what procedure you should apply. That will come under 500 series. Then comes the last one, that is 700 series, which will talk about your reporting part. That is your 700 series. So we're going to get started with the 700 series from the first lecture onwards. It'll be difficult for you. Some of you might have started with 200 part and all. But see, follow my approach, follow my process. First 2022 lectures are entirely on essays. Once you have a good grip on essays, and I've covered every goddamn thing while discussing respective essays, I'll discuss important questions, what MCQs can be asked, important points we'll highlight. See, it's going to be a lengthy approach, but that's the best approach. You will not miss out on anything. What I can promise you is the entire paper, 95% or 98% of a paper will come from these modules. The reason being simple. I have taken the entire ICI module as a base. That's why focusing on ICI module, focusing on bare essays, focusing on the practical aspect. Like for example, when we start reading audit report, you'll realize I'll actually open the audit reports in front of you. Like, let me show you an example. This is your first module, which they'll give you. This is your essay module, all standards summarized. And you'll realize at the end, can you see practical insight into audit report? I have attached almost 63 pages only on audit reports. Why? Because when we're reading audit reports, I want these reports to be there in front of you so that you can easily relate, like Reliance, TCS, HDFC Bank, SBI, name a big company. We have all the relevant reports here so that you can easily relate to them and understand. The objective of this entire series of lectures is to give you a very good overview of the entire syllabus, focus on the right aspects so that from exam point of view, you're very well prepared. I hope you enjoyed this. Start watching the first lecture onwards, and good luck. We're going to start with 700 series, that is audit report. Are we good? Thank you guys. See you soon. Bye-bye. Have a good day.